Um, I mean, there was obviously a very, very high level of risk. The casualties were very high in Bomber Command, as you know. How did you deal with that pressure and that strain, really?
Well, of course, the loss didn't really affect you there because you were only concerned with your own squadron. You never heard the full story until later, of course. So one never gave a thought to ever being shot down. You had, I think, as each trip went by, you gained more and more confidence. And of course that applied to your whole crew. That was it. We had a first-class navigator, which was the essential thing. He was number one in the crew, really. And I think there is where a lot of other crews went for a beating, because of probably their navigators were not as good in keeping their aircraft in the bomber stream. Being within the stream gave you a certain amount of safety. It also had its own hazards, of course, because you couldn't see where the next aircraft was. It's pitch dark, so you had no lights or nothing. There were some frightful moments, one in particular over Frankfurt, where we had an aircraft coming up beneath us, and I yelled to our skipper to pull up, and we'd no sooner done that than we were picked up by one of the German master searchlights, and when they come on to you, there is no getting away. We were very fortunate in as much that it was cloud, so we were able to get into the cloud and avoid it. But on that...
You were sitting in the nose at that point, in the bomb aimer's position.
That's right,
yeah.
yeah.
I mean, what's the effect of a bit massive searchlight like that hitting you?
It just absolutely clicks onto you, bang, and you're there, you're illuminated. And of course, what happens then is you get all the other searchlights converging on you. You could end up with 20 or 30 searchlights all concentrated on you as an aircraft. And once you get in that type of cone, there's very little chance of getting out. On that particular occasion, when this master beam came on to us, we were lucky because there was cloud handy. We went into that and avoided it. But on that particular raid, which was on Frankfurt, as we crossed from Germany into France, southern France, there was suddenly a hell of an explosion, and it nearly turned the aircraft over on its back. And we didn't really know what the hell it was. The skipper yelled to me, "What, can you see anything, Kingy?" Of course I wouldn't, it was pitch dark. And all the way back to England, we could feel that drag on the starboard side. And it wasn't until we got over the country that we were able to get flight engineer got the oldest lamp and shone it on the starboard side, and the starboard undercarriage was hanging down. But the main problem was that our skipper could not tell whether or not it was locked down in the right position or whether it was just hanging down. There was no indication at all. The light wasn't working. It had obviously been damaged. And when we got within radio contact with base, they told us to land at Swindeby, which we did. George came in, starboard wing high, and as we touched down, the tyre on the undercarriage wrapped itself around the oleo leg, and we did 2 or 3 ground loops until we came to a stop. By that time, the ambulance and fire brigade was there, but nothing happened. I just got a few cuts on the back of my hand where I'd released the top hatch above us before we landed, just in case we had to make a quick exit. But that was it.
That was the end of Sea Charlie, wasn't it?
That was well, it wasn't the end of Sea Charlie. She eventually came back as F for Freddy. But that was much later, of course, because she would have had gone through stringent tests. And then we picked up a new Sea Charlie.
Yeah. Now, what